Hello to audience. My name is Jean Détier UWIZEYE. I'm a field officer at Association Modeste Innocent Ami. As I was asked a question of how we do for reintegration of ex-prisoners, both community and family, I want just to answer the question by starting showing the problems or the challenges met by the ex-prisoners while getting home and getting in the community. First of all, the ex-prisoners, when getting in the community, they have some challenges, some problems, especially between them and the survivors. There are some hatred between both communities, both groups, of course, based on the fact that they have killed their relatives and they have not asked for forgiveness to the survivors. So there is still hatred until they will have asked for forgiveness. Also, there is mistrust. There is still fear, especially to the survivors, thinking that they can be killed again. And as for the perpetrators, they can also think that they can be killed as a revenge. They can revenge the death of their relatives. So there is a problem. There is serious mistrust between the two groups. So to help them now reintegrate, what we call the community integration, we use what we call the community approach, which refers to some activities. The first one can be called Amatava, and the Amatava, if I can try to explain it, normally Amatava is a flat ground where different people, different groups can meet for the reconciliation journey. So normally Amatava, when there is a conflict, when there is a violence, there is someone who stands, who is on the top of the hill of the violence, and the one who is on the bottom of the valley of pain. So the one now standing on the top of the hill of violence, saying that I'm allowed to do whatever against you. You have now to accept, to undergo whatever I will do against you. And the one standing on the bottom, the valley of pain, saying that I must now undergo what I'm being, the way I'm being treated by my offender. So the reconciliation now cannot be possible while one is still on the top of the violence and the other one being on the bottom of the valley of the pain. So what we do in the Amatava approach, we help the one standing on the hill to go down or to come down, and the one standing on the bottom of the valley must now, of the pain, must go up, and they meet on the flat ground that we call Amatava. So there are some steps that we do to be able to apply that approach Amatava. The first one, as a field officer, I have to go to the field and to be informed, to get informed about the problem there. And of course, I must consult the authority and the representatives of the two groups, the survivors and perpetrators. So I have to be informed about the problem and the consequences thereof. And after, secundo, we have to go and consult those representatives of the two groups, especially wanting to convince them about the process. I express to them about the process and try to convince them so that they may join the process. And after, we train them about what we call right inner power or verticality, because one of the source of the conflict and the violence is because many people are living in inversion way. So we have now to help them recapitulate. We have to help them being in verticality, because when you live in verticality, you can harmonize the relationship, because you have to harmonize to know how will I live, how will I harmonize my relationship with God, with my neighbor, with the money on the world. So we can study all of those in what we call right inner power. And after, I'm trying now to be in summary so that we may use the 10 minutes that I have to use. And after, each group write down the perception or accusation, if you want, of another group. And for other group, it is done like that. So after, they exchange the perception. And after, we have another meeting of now discussing about the accusations or the perceptions. And after now, they, as a conclusion, they sign a contract of what will be done next, of what will be the point of discussion, the point of dialogue, and the activity that we'll be doing together, so just to continue harmonizing the relationship. But so far, they have not asked for forgiveness yet. So we have other two modules or approaches that help us now to perform that journey of reconciliation. The first one is called thérapie sociale. It's an approach borrowed from a French Jacques Lozman, who taught us that approach. And through that approach, we can now build the trust between the antagonistic group. But so far, we have not started addressing the problems. We have not started doing the mediation or the reconciliation. But we try now to build the trust between the two antagonistic groups. And we have some exercises we do, we propose to those two groups so that they may now, first of all, harmonize their relationship. They may increase the trust between them. And after, using what we call restorative dialogue, it is also an approach borrowed from Duke Duchala. It is an American Canadian who taught us that approach that can help us now address the problem from or using the dialogue. And that dialogue has three parts. The first one is called pre-circle, and the second one is circle, and the third one post-circle. And the pre-circle is about the preparation of the circle. It's about getting ready, and it is done within groups, antagonistic groups, differently. So we invite one group and another group differently, and we try to prepare in a non-violence way. Because sometimes when you have not prepared the dialogue well, it can be conducted in a violent way, and it can cause serious problems. So we try now to prepare each group so that they may expose their problem in a non-violence way. So, and after we meet, the two groups meet in circle now, where they exchange the cause of their conflict, the cause of the violence, and what will be done next to try to end up with the violence and with the conflict. And after, because each party has done the engagement, so after we do what we call post-circle, now for evaluating or assessing the level of satisfaction of each member of the group, because each one is asked how the level of his or her satisfaction, if either he is satisfied or she's satisfied or not. If not, we do again the planification of what will be done next, this time to satisfy every member of the groups. That is how shortly we try now to do the community integration, trying now to reconcile the survivors and the perpetrators. But as for the family integration, the ex-prisoners or the former prisoners have also some challenges and problems when getting home. The first one is that normally the wives, especially the wives who stayed home alone, they have taken the responsibility of their husband, like taking decisions and other responsibilities. But when now the former prisoners get home, the wives don't want to give them back their responsibility and their right of taking a decision as the husband. In the Rwandan culture, it is a man who has some right of taking the last decisions. So, and the wife don't want now to give them back those responsibility and those rights. So it is one of the source of their conflict. Secundo, there are some wives who have given birth to other children from other men who are not their husband. So you see that can also be the source of the conflict. It's also, there are some properties who have been taken by their relatives. So you see that can also be another source of conflict. There is another problem of especially the behavior on the culture learned maybe in the prison, I don't know, that the wife cannot support, cannot accept. So those behavior can also be the source of the conflict and even of the violence. So what we do also some sessions of mediation. Sometimes also can teach the right inner power also. We can do the therapy social. We can even do the restorative dialogue, just to try to do the mediation between the former prisoner and the member of their family, just they meet when getting home. So shortly, that is how we try now to do both community and family reintegration of former prisoners. So unless you may have some other questions for clarification or for further explanation. Thank you.